Hello, children. How are you today? I think you are all fine. So, right now, let's begin our lesson. Our theme of the lesson is Great English Writers and Popular Books of Writers. Today, we'll learn new words and get acquainted with world famous, well known writers, playwrights. Let's learn new words. Listen and remember. World famous. Well known, great, talented, modern, classical, medieval, writer, children's writer, short story writer, author, playwright, poet. So, which famous writers do you know? Well done! As we know, everyone likes to read books. It's a positive hobby. At school, we have known Daniel Defoe, Arthur Conan Doyle, George Gordon Byron, Charles Dickens, Oscar Wilde, and others. English books help us to feel the spirit of English life. Now let's get acquainted with famous writers deeply. William Shakespeare, great English poet, playwright, and writer. Besides plays, Shakespeare wrote graceful poems as Hamlet, Macbeth, King Lear, Romeo and Juliet, Othello.
William Shakespeare was born in 1564 in Stratford-upon-Avon in England. His father John was a glove-maker. His mother Mary was a farmer's daughter. He had 2 older sisters, 2 younger sisters, and 3 younger brothers. William probably studied Latin, Greek, and history and left school when he was 14 or 15. 3 years later, he married Anne Hathaway. They had a daughter called Susanna and twins named Judith and Hamnet. Sometime before 1590, he left Stratford and went to London, the capital city of England. London's first theatre opened in 1576. Shakespeare worked in London as an actor and then started writing plays too. In 1593, the plague, a terrible disease, killed thousands of people and theatres were closed. During this time, William started to write poems instead of plays. His short poems are called sonnets. Shakespeare helped build a new theatre called the Globe. It opened in 1599. It was round and had space for 3,000 people. At the Globe, some people stood in front of the stage and others had seats. The audience shouted, clapped, booed and laughed while they watched plays. Musicians created special noises to make the plays more exciting, and they had a cannon to make big bangs. No women acted in Shakespeare's time. Men and boys played all the parts. Shakespeare wrote comedies with happy endings, like A Midsummer Night's Dream. He wrote tragedies, which had sad endings, like Romeo and Juliet. His history plays are about kings and queens, like Henry V. Shakespeare wrote 38 plays, maybe more. He loved language and invented new words and expressions that we still use today. William became rich and famous. He had houses in London and in Stratford. He died when he was 52 on April the 23rd, 1616. His plays and poetry were very popular 400 years ago, and they are still popular today. People all over the world love his work because he wrote wonderful stories about very interesting people.
Now let's do the tasks. Write the word under the pictures. Check your answers. Next task. Write the story and put the sentence in order. Check your answers. Well done, children. And the last task, find the words from exercise 1 in the word search below. Please check your answers. Excellent! Now let's get acquainted with other writers. Agatha Christie was a British writer. Books by her have been translated into more than 100 languages of the world. Agatha Christie wrote the books as N or M, The Man in the Brown Suit, Death Comes at the End. Oscar Wilde, Irish poet, playwright, writer, one of the most famous playwrights of the late Victorian period, the brightest celebrity of that time, best known for his numerous plays, as well as the novel The Picture of Dorian Gray. Jane Austen, English novelist, the founder of realism in British literature. She wrote the books as Pride and Prejudice, Persuasion, Sense and Sensibility. Arthur Conan Doyle is an English writer, author of numerous adventure, historical, journalistic, fantastic, and humorous writings, the creator of the classic characters of detective, science fiction, and historical adventure literature, the brilliant detective Sherlock Holmes, an eccentric Professor Challenger, a brave cavalry officer Gerard. So guys, today you got acquainted with famous writers, well-known authors, and with their books. Now your homework number 1, read the text about William Shakespeare. Homework number 2, watch the story and circle the correct answer. And task number 3, find a lot of information about other writers. So children, now our lesson is over. Thank you for your attention. See you next time. Goodbye.